the West begins in Fort Worth, Texas, to around the globe. You are listening to Talk in the Night. And now, your host, Paranormal Phil. Thank you, and good evening, good morning, wherever you may be around the world, around the globe, or even in your own backyard. I am Paranormal Phil, and later on in the show, we're going to be having Friday night open lines where you can call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions that you have about the paranormal or any other topic that the show covers. But first, up on the Talk in the Night website under the story of the day, let me get to it. Photo from Notorious Haunted Jail shows creepy figure. Candace Collins, a paranormal investigator, says the image she captured is the spirit of an old man with glasses. Bodmin Jail, built in 1779 before it closed down in 1927, which is nestled at the edge of Bodmin Moor in Cornwall, England. Over the years, it has attracted many ghost hunting shows, paranormal investigators, and those seeking the unexplained. Candace said she has caught some fantastic paranormal evidence at Bodmin Jail before it was turned into a hotel. When she was walking around snapping pictures, she said she captured a full-body spirit with an old man in a suit with glasses when they were the only ones there. And of course, you can read that story up on the Talking the Night website, talkingthenight.com, under the story of the day. Now, I want to mention the phone lines are open. Usually my commercial breaks after the commercial break doesn't mention the number, and I don't have it set to where I mention the numbers to call in at the start of the show. So I am going to let you know the call-in numbers and the about Spreaker and everything like that here before we get into any questions or stories or experiences. So the number to call in using Skype is Talk in the Night, using the Skype name Talk in the Night, or by phone at 817-717-1280, or you can go to Spreaker.com, sign up for a free account, click on the live show when you go to Talk in the Night on Spreaker, and down below, scroll down just a little bit, there will be a chat bar right there. Type in your message. You'll see a message probably below it that says, welcome to the show, and the chat. Feel free to join the discussion, tell your stories and experiences, or ask a question here. Because if you don't feel like calling in and sharing your stories and experiences, you can always pop in the chat. I do interact with my listeners, and I do read all the questions and try to answer as many as I can, if depending on how many people are in there. So feel free to pop in the chat, ask your questions, or tell your stories and experience there, or you can call in to the show. So I want to go straight to a thing on one of my posts, my post about tonight's show on podcast promote page, and it says, if I speak the truth as you broadcast your podcast to the youth about justice for my pop William B. Brock, so we can expose those that choose to refuse and ignore the clues in plain sight and ignite a fight against injustice upon us to be made right and the truth of what's hidden in the box. Many would call Fort Knox. Below the stone of the unknown, what would you need to concede to answer my plea to succeed? Now, I don't know exactly what he's talking about, but I'm going to kind of speculate and try to answer this the best that I can. Now, if he's talking about Fort Knox and the supposed gold that's in there, I'm doing air quotes because I know you can't see me, but yeah, there hasn't been gold in Fort Knox for a long time. They have, the elitists have stolen the money from us. If he's talking about other things in the paranormal where they're hiding stuff like we talked about last night with Tyler Tranzu and Chris Rupert, about them hiding evidence of UFO technology and everything like that, then yeah, the elitists are hiding a lot of things. Now, there is a lot that is being hidden on the show. I should share this to let people know I'm live, but yeah, but there is a lot that is being hidden from us, and we do need to stand together as a human race and not allow these elitist people to destroy what we deserve. I mean, there's the old saying, "Do unto others as you would want done to you." So, I mean, there's so much out there that we could be doing to fight this. Like I wish I could be following around the People's Convoy, but I'm here doing the live show talking about things. So if you got questions about politics or conspiracies or anything like that, feel free to call in, share your stories, experiences, or ask a question. Like I said, I'm answering this the best that I can because I don't know exactly what he's kind of asking. But again, there is a lot that is being hidden from us that they don't want us to know. And I don't know why they don't want to. I mean, there's so much information out there on the internet, but it's hard to interpret what is truth and what is not these days. Now, back in before the internet and everything like that, there was a lot hidden. Like we talked last night about Roswell, how that crash happened in 1947, but it wasn't until earlier this year, possibly last year, that it was revealed that there was a UFO crash in Roswell. And the government held on to that information for so long. Now, like I said last night, that they only gave us breadcrumbs. They're not going to give us the full story. And I get it. Sometimes some of that stuff has to, in their mind, stay secret so that nobody else uses it. But in the way things have been lately, I mean, it's not, I'm trying to think of the words I was trying to come across. But anyways, the information is out there. And people are not scared like they would be for, like during Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, where people were frightened, thought there was a UFO invasion. But, and more people are open to that stuff. Now, there is a lot, and we'll get into other things regarding conspiracy theories tonight, but we're also going to cover a lot as far as technology, health, wellness, dating relationship, politics and conspiracy, veteran issues, as well as the paranormal. So be sure to stay tuned the whole show, and feel free to call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions, because without those questions, I have to go to other sites to answer the questions, but I do give you a great show, and I answer as many questions as I can get to. So, as far as that post, again, there is a lot hidden there, and we need to seek out the truth. We need to find out what they're hiding, because they are hiding a lot. Look at the Great Reset. And I mean, they're blatantly putting it out there that you'll own nothing and be happy about it. I mean, this is words out of their mouth. This is not a opinion piece. This is not from somebody writing a story about it. No, this is actually words out of their own mouth. A commercial that they did that said you'll own nothing and be happy about it. Now, they want control of everything and want people like me and you to be down on the bottom rung working for them when it should be the other way around. So I don't want to get too much into that, but that is the comment that I had under my post about going live tonight. I did a video tonight just to kind of hopefully drum up some people in the chat and everything like that. Now let's get into a question about the paranormal. And let's see, what have I not answered on some of these sites? I do need to load up some more sites. What should I do if I think my home is haunted? Okay, there is a couple of things. I mean, most people, they're not gonna mind being their home being haunted. Now, if it depends on what the entity is. If it's a dark entity, I suggest contacting somebody that is in that field and everything like that. Somebody that knows what they're doing. I did cleansings of homes from dark entities for a while. And, I mean, I can get rid of it, but I don't like to do it as far as, I don't like to do remote viewing and everything like that. But I can if I need to, but I just don't have the time anymore. So it's basically best to call in somebody a team that is experienced with that stuff. Or even if it's not a malevolent spirit or a poltergeist or a demon, as some people would call it, it's always best to call in somebody that is an expert in the field or pretty close to an expert in the field to kind of know, because as I've said many times, not everything is paranormal. So when you say, is the house haunted? What should I do if the house is haunted? I think that was the question. Let me find it here. Yeah, what should I do if I think my home is my home is haunted? Again, I would get answers, try to find out, is it really haunted? Or is it, like if you're hearing knocks on the wall, is it an animal in the wall? Is it pipes making noise? The creaking of the floorboards? Is it just the old house settling? I mean, there's so many things, so that's why I suggest contacting somebody that is familiar with the paranormal and give them a call and find out what they say, because they do have the equipment now. If you don't know what you're doing, you're liable to open up a door. So I recommend getting a hold of somebody that knows what they are doing. So let's see here. Let's go to another question. And that was from spiritbearerparanormal.com. Just want to make sure that I shout out the website that I get these questions from, because I do want to let you know my answer. Of course, some of these are going to answer them for me and everything, but I do want to answer these questions. Let's get into a question about UFO, since we talked about that last night. Let's see. Let's find a good question here. If you saw a UFO but were alone and had no proof, what would you tell anyone and who? Well, of course, I'm not going to tell a government agency because they are going to hide that truth from people. I've told people, I even told my guests last night about my experience that I had with the UFO. And of course, when I had that experience, cell phone technology wasn't as good as it is today. So, I mean, or like I talked about Bigfoot, I didn't have the stuff to capture Bigfoot back in the early 90s. I didn't have one of those 35 millimeter cameras that you had to wind up, snap a picture, wind up, snap a picture until you were out, and then go from there and have that film developed and hope that you caught anything. Nothing is back then was as quick as it is today. Now, that being said, and this kind of plays into technology and everything like that, is that things can be manipulated, if you will. It can be faked with Photoshop, with different video editing software, and so forth. And it's a little more difficult to prove that it's real, but if you got somebody with you that can kind of go with your story and validate your story, then it is worth telling somebody. But as far as telling like the government officials, you're liable to get silenced. And I don't mean killed or anything like that. I mean, like, they'll tell you, don't put this out there, don't share this with anybody. And they keep it hush-hush. But, again, that's just my thoughts on that. I mean, there are, like I said, I've had sightings of UFOs, I've had sightings of Bigfoot, and I was alone. I could not prove it, so it is my story and my experience. And I don't feel sorry for telling my story, my experience, because I know what I saw was real. Now, whether people want to believe your story or not, that's a whole nother story. And you can't make anybody believe what you saw. I mean, it's just not going to happen. But if you... Oh, shoot. I shared the thing without a link. Sorry. Or without wording, I'll share it again. But anyways, that is that question. Let's get into another thing, talking about aliens, since we're on that topic. Do you think aliens are monsters? No, I do not think they are monsters. I think, and we discussed this during the show last night, I think they are interdimensional beings that have come here. Now, I don't have no proof of that. I cannot say for certain that that is the case, but there is that possibility that that is the case. And it's, again, up to each people to seek out that truth. Seek for the answers that you want to know about something, and we will eventually find those answers. But as far as them being monsters, no, I don't believe they're monsters at all. They are, as far as my research and what I've learned, that they are interdimensional beings. But again, just my thoughts on it. So let's get into, and before I do get into another question, I do want, or actually we'll go to a story. But before that, I do want to mention the phone lines are open if you want to call and share your stories, experiences, or questions about the paranormal. Use the Skype name Talk in the Night or by phone at 817-717-1280, or go to Spreaker.com, sign up for a free account. It don't cost a thing. You don't have to record anything. Just sign up, scroll down, or go to Talk in the Night, click on the live show, and scroll down just a little bit. There's a chat bar, and you can type in your stories, experiences, or ask a question there. I do interact with all my listeners. And if you got questions, I do try to answer them. Even when I got guests on, I tried to get through all the questions and ask those questions that you have for my guests. So it's not just this for this show. It's all kinds of show. So let's see. Glitch in the Matrix. Let's talk about this. This is a story on liveabout.com. It says, when I was around 20, a few years ago, I kept having dreams about a woman with long black hair. Oh, wait. I think I heard this story on Mr. Ballin. So I'm going to talk about this. Dreams about a woman with long black hair named Aurora, pronounced Aurora. They were different dreams, but for some reason, her distinct face and name always ended up in them. It got to the point where I would wake up frustrated and confused, trying to Google her name or find out how I can connect to her. After a few months, she stopped showing up, and I dismissed it, thinking my brain was just being a scumbag. No. Fast forward a few years later, Halloween 2009, I'm in a car with a friend, stopped at a gas station. I'm about to pull out and merge onto the highway when I get a phone call from a random number, so I stopped the car, but no one answered. There was a person behind me who grew impatient, honked at me, and then swerved in front of me instead of waiting for 2 seconds for me to move. Second, they get on the highway, a silver Honda lost control of their wheel and crashed into the car that swerved in front of me. I called the cops and waited at the gas station for them to come. Turns out the driver of both cars died. It's 100% would have been me if I hadn't got on the phone, called it back, and a few hours later, gratitude and courtesy rang 3 times and went to a voicemail. And this is what it said. Hi, you've reached Aurora. Please leave your name and number. Never had goosebumps like that in my life. Called it again the next day because I was that confused about the whole situation. Some woman answered. We got to talking. I tell her my entire story, including the dreams I had. She tells me she doesn't know how I got her number and that she never called me as far as she remembers. Weird. Asked her if she had a Facebook to confirm she is in fact the woman in my dreams. Checked her Facebook. Holy F, it's her. And of course, I've heard that story on Mr. Ballin, so it's weird that I would stop on that story and talk about it. But if you want to hear that story from Mr. Ballin, go ahead. But that is a creepy one. Now, dreams, premonitions are one thing, but when you get a call from a number that happens to be the number of the person that you had in the dream. Now, was this person astral projection? Did they have an out-of-body experience? It's hard to say, but I mean, I wouldn't put it past it that the lady named Aurora was astral projecting. Maybe the person is psychic and didn't want to put their information out there because maybe they know they are, but they don't want the spotlight of somebody that is out to do it as a career or something like that, and they just want to have peace and quiet. But maybe they saw a premonition of this lady going around. Think Final Destination movies. And I want to mention, hey, Nicole, no worries. But anyways, think Final Destination, where they have this, one person has this premonition of what's going to happen, and they stop, and it doesn't happen to them. Now, I don't know if there's any follow-up to this story, whether they had that Final Destination moment where they saved their life by not going, but ended up dying later. I don't think that's the case, but because that's sensationalized for Hollywood. But, I mean, that is definitely a weird story in itself. Like I said, the phone lines are open. We're got 5 minutes before we go to our first commercial break. Again, feel free to call into the show using Skype name Talking the Night or by phone at 817-717-1280 or sign up for a free account on Spreaker.com and click on Talking the Night, then click on the live show, and then go right to the little chat. Scroll down, there's a chat bar there. You can join the chat, discuss the show, ask your questions there, or type out your story or experience that you have. And I will give you my opinion on it. I will answer your question to the best of my knowledge. So I answer everybody. Like I said, I had a post on Facebook.com where it wasn't a post, it was a comment on one of my posts where I answered it the best that I could because I didn't know where they were going with it. But let's get into something else from, let's see, Above Top Secret. And let's see, what is a good one to go off of? Oh, let's go here. Let's go geoengineering and chemtrails. Because, again, I do want to get more things in besides the paranormal. Checking the chat here. Because sometimes when I'm live, I can't look at the chat every time unless I got questions coming into the chat. But I can... I will definitely... Now, during the week, Monday through Thursday, then I do pay attention to the chat the whole way because I got the guess and I don't have to go to different websites to look for questions or anything. But again, if you got questions, stories, experiences, feel free to call or pop in the chat. And again, you don't have to ask a question or anything like that. You can basically... just pop in the chat and say, hey, I'm listening. And I thank everybody for listening to the show, whether I hear your voice, whether I see you in the chat or not, whether you're listening live or to the recording. I welcome everybody that listens to the show. Now, I do ask that if you could, like the episode on Spreaker or wherever you hear it, and also share it around to your friends and family so that way you can help me grow the show to even more. But I want to get this question in here before we go to the first commercial break. Alright, so let's go to this one, talking about chemtrails. And I know it's a topic that could get my show canceled, but the truth needs to be out there. And this post, again, is under, I forget what sub topic it was, or what topic it was, form it was, but the post is, "The chemtrail ruined my blue skies, here's why." It says, a common chemtrail complaint. The sky was clear and blue. Then the plane started spraying and it turned cloudy. Well, this morning it was absolutely textbook example of this. So here's some pictures to explain. And if you live anywhere where there's blue skies and you see like a streak of like smoke, almost like smoke, like stuff coming from behind the plane. Now, a contrail is going to dissipate right away. And you'll see that, too, from planes. And that's not then spraying, but when it lasts for miles and miles and it doesn't dissipate, but it actually kind of grows into clouds, I don't know exactly what they're spraying, but I do believe that they are messing with geoengineering, weather, and messing with weather modifications and everything like that. So, I mean, they are doing all that, and it's having an effect on greenhouse gases and everything like that. But again, I'll finish up the story after the commercial break. But we'll be right back after the short commercial break with more phone calls, questions, stories, experience, and so much more. We'll be right back.
Wasn't for till you stepped into the room, and I didn't show, but I wanted to know everything I could about you. See, I was told the dreams were made to be believed in, so I put every single dream in you. But you said the bar so high above the sky, and you nailed it to the floor. 'Cause for some odd reason I'm done believing in this one thing I adore. What is loving?
Do you have a talk radio, Facebook Live, or YouTube show and would like guests for your show but don't know where to go to get them? Well, go to radioguestlist.com and sign up today. They have all different experts in different fields, and you can find the ones that are just right for your show. That's radioguestlist.com. Sign up today. It's free.
To advertise on Talk in the Night, send an email to talkinthe.night@outlook.com. Talk in the Night has plans to fit your budget. Get your product or business heard around the world by the Talk in the Night listening audience. Plans include 30-second spots and banner ads on the show's website and mentioned on the social media sites. So get your product or business heard around the world today. Shop the Talk in the Night merch store today and pick up one of the many products with 9 different designs to choose from. The store has men's and women's apparel, drinkware, houseware, and accessories. Pick up a t-shirt, coffee mug, or anything else on there and support the show today. Go to talkinthe.night.com to find a link to the merch store.
I found your shirt behind my sweater. Must have been in there all summer long. Like a shot in the arm, like a goodbye letter. For a minute I forgot you were gone. I'm on the way down the street, you're on the west coast. I don't know how I never
Call into the show, Skype, Talk in the Night, or by phone at 817-717-1280. Now back to Talk in the Night with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back, and I want to continue with that story here. Talking about chemtrails and everything like that. Now, the story says, I woke up around 8 a.m. to brilliant, clear blue skies. We had breakfast out in the garden, and over time I could see the trails starting to persist. As the wind blew them, they started to form parallel grid lines, and I've noticed that quite a bit living out in Southern California, where the skies are usually a lot of times just clear blue skies. Within less than an hour, the trails were expanding and merging into clouds. And you can see that where it's a thin line and then it just puffs out and everything like that. Now, our government was actively, and this is in declassified information files from the government, that they were messing with weather modification in Vietnam. It's no secret anymore. But they want you to believe that it still is a secret. They don't want you seeking out the truth. And and let's see, yet out of the front of the house looked, and that they were looking west when they saw these clouds forming from the lines. Look out in front of the house, looking east, the sky was still clear. So what's going on? Well, it looks like the weather map that showed the humidity at the altitude airliners fly at all becomes clear. Here's some charts. Of course, you can't see the charts, but basically, yeah, I'm going to leave that story right there because, yeah, they are messing with weather modification. Again, what they're spraying, I don't know. I'm not an expert in that field. I can't tell you, but I know they are putting something in our atmosphere to possibly create weather. Because like I said, it's in declassified information that they are doing, they messed with weather modification before. So that's no secret. Now, there's a lot of things, like I said at the start of the show, that they are hiding from us. They don't want us to know, and I don't know why, but they do want, I do personally believe, and this is personal belief, my opinion, that they want complete control while you and me, people like you and me, are the working class working for them, which that's not the way it should be. They should be working for us. But that's not how it happens. Now, I do want to get into what others would call another conspiracy theory, because, again, I do love the paranormal, but I do want to bring more topics to you and talk about them on Friday Night Open Lines. And that's where, if you got questions about anything that the show covers, whether it be paranormal, whether it be technology and science, health and wellness, dating and relationships, politics and conspiracies, or veteran issues, I want to hear from you. If you're listening later on, you can leave a chat on the speaker side or go to facebook.com and comment on my post there, and I will answer it the following Friday when I'm live again. Now, next week, I do want to mention that I will not be on the air. There is going to be rebroadcasted shows next week. But for me, I am taking a week off because I got things to take care of. But I will be back the following week, the first week of May, with brand new shows, brand new guests. But yeah, I do need a week off because I need to take care of some things. But getting back into what I was talking about is I want to get into another conspiracy thing, because what some people would see conspiracy, because I do have friends that are not feeling well, and I want to talk about the vax. I do want to talk about the virus. This is where I have to be a little more careful with my words, because the algorithm will pick it up and my show will get shut down for putting out medical misinformation, when what I'm going to talk about is no medical misinformation, when it's out there on their own sites, when it's out there on top shelf authoritative sources like Google and everything like that. You can search this stuff yourself and find out. Now, again, like I said, I do have a couple of friends that are sick after getting the vax. And people would call me a conspiracy theorist, or somebody that doesn't want to get, or it used to be, people are starting to wake up. But anyways, people that don't want to get the vax, the people used to think that people were doing that and causing health issues. Well, turns out if you got the shot, then you can still get the virus. And everybody knows what virus I'm talking about. Now, for me, why I'm not getting it is personal choice. I will never get it. And I've gone the whole time since the start of it and not been sick. And I got comorbidities that would probably, in their eyes, put me in the hospital and possibly even die. But I have not gotten sick. And I think that's because I haven't gotten the thing. Now, there are people that say, well, if you get the shot, you're not going to get sick as bad. Well, there are people that have died because of the shot. And I'm not saying, I mean, again, it's hard to know if that's the actual case of it. But, I mean, I think being in the military, and I've gotten a lot of shots for anthrax and everything like that, but that was over 20 years ago, and I was for a while sick because, and not really that healthy, because of all the shots that our government put into our military personnel and everything like that. But when I stopped taking anything, like even the flu shot, I noticed that I maybe get sick once or twice every 2 years, and that's about it. Again, that's just me. I think my immune system is built up immunity to these viruses, and I'm living somewhat of a healthy life. I'm not going to say I'm living healthy, because that's not the case. I do smoke. I do eat fast food. I should be eating healthier, but but as far as getting sick, that's not the case. Now, I do have allergies, and it's been windy here, so if you hear me coughing, it's because of the smoking and the pollen blowing around in the air. But anyways, if you got this latest vax, the shot, I urge you to go to Google and search this for yourself and look at this. And this is just one of the companies that puts out that shot. And it starts with a P, Pfizer. But it says, if you type in Pfizer criminal history, just like that, into Google, you'll get the first thing that comes up. It says, Pfizer has been a habitual offender, persistently engaging in illegal and corrupt marketing practices, bribing physicians and suppressing adverse trial results. Since 2002, the company and its subsidiaries have been assessed $3 billion, that's 3 with a B, $1 billion in criminal convictions, civil penalties, and jury awards because of what their shots or their medication has done to people. And I mean, look at the lawsuits that Johnson & Johnson has had with baby powder. I mean, I don't think they even test the stuff. I mean, like a normal vax usually takes about 5 years to test and run trials. And look at how quickly this one got out. I mean, what are they doing? And I believe if you look at the Great Reset and everything like that, the plan is laid out there. Now, yeah, a lot of people call me a crazy tinfoil hat wearing crazy SOB. But the information is out there. Just people don't feel like searching out that information or looking at it. And I urge everybody to seek out the truth. Now, do I know all the answers? No. Do I know if anything that is out there is actually real? I don't know. But for what I'm talking about, what I've done my research on, what I've looked into, I believe what is happening is they are wanting to get rid of the lower class people so they have everything and maybe keep around a few of us to work for them. And that's not the case, but or I hope that's never the case. But again, I just wanted to see something. I got information, something on my phone, and I wanted to see what it was. But again, I urge everybody to go out and seek the truth, and whether it be about the paranormal or anything, seek the truth, because as I mentioned with Roswell, look at how long they hid it from us. 1947 to now, let's see, how many years is that? Let's see, get here, where's my calculator? 2022 minus 1947. That is 75 years that they kept the secret of Roswell a secret. They did not want to tell us. They kept telling us it's a weather balloon. It's swamp gas. And a lot of us believed it until somebody said, let's get information. And they do hide a lot of this information for many years until people forget all about it. They don't want people seeking the truth out right away because they know that it would be their downfall. Again, people are going to call me a conspiracy, crazy tinfoil hat wearing fool. But again, this is from my research. This is my opinion. This is my thoughts on it. And I urge everybody to seek out the truth. All right, so let's get into something else here. Let's go to emotional well-being, because a lot of people talking about the whole virus and the whole vax and everything like that. A lot of people are suffering from mental health issues. And I want to get into a question or a story or whatever. Let's see, what do I want to go? Let's go to this one. How do you explain to your family how you feel? And it says, for a couple of years now, I've been dealing with depression. Up until now, I've dismissed it because I figured I know people who have it way worse than me, so why would I be depressed? But the days have been getting harder and harder to the point where I often find myself thinking about ending myself. Usually after isolating myself for a while, I feel slightly better and dismiss the episode as being a dramatic 15-year-old. But now I think about doing it. I often do things to give myself momentary joy, but my family has started to question it, and I have to lie to avoid confrontation. It's even harder when seeing the news stories about teens killing themselves, and their only reaction is, you teenagers have no responsibility these days. You have no reason to kill yourself. Getting up every day feels like swimming through thick gravy water and slowly suffocating. I don't know how I can look my mom in the face and say that I don't want to be alive anymore. And I will answer that because I do suffer from mental health issues. I do suffer from depression and everything like that. And it's best to talk to people. Don't hide it in. I know I've done it myself. I'll admit I've done it myself where I've just closed myself off and don't want to talk to people. But there's something in my brain that says I don't want to end my life. Yes, that thought has come in my mind in the past, but there are things that I'm doing, like my show. It keeps me busy. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy interviewing guests. I enjoy the listeners asking questions or hearing stories about this stuff and other things. And it keeps my mind off of that. But what I would say for somebody that's dealing with depression, I would ask that you speak to somebody, talk to somebody about how you're feeling. Yes, they're not going to know what you're feeling. They're not going to know how what you're going through or anything like that. But talking about it, maybe they can help. Now, also seek out professional help too. And it could get you some answers. Now, don't let them put you on medication to kind of swipe it all away, or they make you think it's going to go all away because of the medication. No, find something that you find joy in, and do it more regularly. But also, if you are feeling down, talk to somebody, because talking to somebody could be that one person that could snap you out of that depression. Whether it's going to happen or not, that's another story. But talk to somebody and they could help you through it. But you have to be willing. If you're going to tell your story to somebody, you need to listen to them as well. And take everything with a grain of salt, of course. Now, I want to go to the chat real quick because Nicole posted something in there, and I haven't had a chance to read it. But it says, I don't get what Zach's new episode, this lady claims to see 5 demons, when in fact they must look like 5 UFOs. Not going to watch that one. And I wouldn't watch Ghost Adventures. Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventure, and this is my opinion, has lost all credibility. He is, and I get it. We talked about it last night, talking about filmmaking and reality shows and stuff like that, and paranormal shows, and how they have to sensationalize everything for the ratings. And I get that. I've talked about it before, where what you're seeing is only an hour of what really goes on in a real investigation, and what they do too. But I mean, and I appreciate that it's brought out the word about the paranormal to the masses, but they are in a sense deceiving people with those episodes, saying, oh, if you go to this location, you can see a ghost. Usually that's not the case. If you go to a location, you can probably sit there 6 hours in the dark with a digital recorder trying to catch EVPs and get nothing. It can happen, even in a highly haunted location. Or sometimes you can step in there and first snap of the picture you get a full body apparition. Or you see it with your own eyes. I mean, it's hard to say, but I mean, as far as Zach goes, everything is a demon with him. It's not a poltergeist or a spirit playing tricks. And I think this is my thought again, that Zach brings his own demons with him. He has delved into the darker side of the occult before, and that's why he tends to find these dark entities, demons, whatever you want to call them. And again, that's not always the case. You do have to have a skeptical side to you. You can't be completely skeptical, but you can't be full believing in everything. Look for the terrestrial explanation before you say anything's paranormal. Or this is why when anything that I research, anything I look up, anything that I've talked about tonight, I have dug down into that rabbit hole, if you will, and researched stuff. I've looked for the answers. I've looked for it all to gain knowledge. And that's where what I enjoy doing is gaining knowledge about these things. A lot of people like to read books. That's fine, but that takes you to a fantasy world a lot of times. And a lot of times you're not going to get the true answers by reading a book when you can go out and do that same thing, as long as it's not harming anybody, but like a paranormal investigation. Go on a ghost tour or something like that. But experience it for yourself. Learn for yourself. And you will get the answers. Seek out the answers. That's what I have to say about that. All right, so we got about 5 minutes, so let's go to another story here. No, there's no more stories there. So let's go to another question here. Let's go to other questions that are not related to, I don't think are related too much to the paranormal. But, let's see, I've answered that one. Did you get scared? Okay, this is an interesting one because I do love horror movies and everything like that. And I talked about last night working on a horror movie screenplay, which I want to find time to finish writing so I can get it out there. But the question is, do you get scared by horror stories? Now, there are people that will get scared by scary things, whether they be games, movies, haunted houses, real or fake. But for me, Halloween is my Christmas. Halloween is my favorite time of year. I love scaring the bejeebus out of people. Yes, I said that word, bejeebus. But I do love scaring the heck out of people. I do love watching horror movies. I love watching people get scared, even on YouTube. I just love the whole thing. And I go into a location when I'm doing cleansing of homes. I go into a location with no fear. I don't have no fear of this stuff, and it's helped me tremendously. Like, talking about ghost hunting shows, that I think I've talked about it on the show before. Most paranormal investigators and TV shows going to Alcatraz, there's a solitary confinement cell there that nobody will go in alone. Nobody will go in with the door closed, and definitely nobody will go in there with the lights out, even with the door open. Well, for me, that somebody that doesn't have fear to go into a location like that, I want to go into that cell. I want to close the door. I want to turn out the lights by myself and sit there for at least an hour and see what I get. Because I go into this with no fear. Because I know, yes, some people can call me a demon for scaring the hell out of people, but no, it's all in fun and games. Now, at a place that is highly active with the paranormal, I won't play tricks like that. I do that for Halloween for fun. Or if I know it's daylight out and I'll sneak up on somebody and scare them. Yeah, that I don't mind doing, but as far as, and I don't scare people that I know would possibly have a heart attack or anything like that. I'm not that evil. But no, I just go into the thing with no fear. So I do love the horror stories. I love hearing about people getting scared. I love horror movies and stuff like that. So that's just my take on it, but I do love this stuff. But we are at the commercial break here, but we'll be right back with more phone calls and chat questions, stories, experience, so much more right after this commercial break. We'll be right back.
Sin creeping down my skin.
I can feel it spreading when it begins. Oh, fool, don't you know the rules? You should steer away before you lose. And boom, you're waiting in my room, and I can see you smiling. I seal my doom. Feel shiver down my skin when I see you moving. I can't breathe. My mind is lying down your hips, running down your curves.
The weather is getting warmer and people are out and about. Well, if you love ghost hunting, now is the time to pick up some new gear. GhostStop.com has a wide variety of equipment to choose from, and one of those items is Blue Buddy. He's back. The talking bear every investigator wants on their team. Click on the Ghost Stop banner ad at the top of the show's website and pick up your Blue Buddy today. Go to spring.com and sign up to create your own design or choose from a design from one of the many creators on there. Spring has ways to integrate your store on social media, custom stores, and they have digital and physical products. While you're there, check out the Talk in the Night merch store. To get started with Spring today, click on the banner ad on the Talk in the Night website. Go to the show's website and click on the links for each of my guests and purchase a book or other product that they may be promoting. Without them, there would be no Talk in the Night. Whether you're interested in the paranormal, conspiracy, technology, health, relationships, or any other topic the show covers, my guests have something for you. Check it out today on talkingthenight.com.
If you take one step, then you will be a little closer to your dream than if you stay just where you are. Keep that chin held up and fight your battles with your feet and both bear you'll find.
To call into the show, Skype Talk in the Night or by phone at 817-717-1280. Now back to Talk in the Night with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back with Friday Night Open Lines where you can call in and share your stories, experiences, or questions about the paranormal or anything else that the show covers, which is technology and science, health and wellness, dating and relationships, politics and conspiracies, and veteran issues, which I have not gotten into some of the topics, but we are going to get into some of those topics tonight besides the paranormal, which now I do want to mention that last question came from other questions on the lj.org /questions/supernatural. So I do want to mention the site that I do get these questions from and everything like that, so that way you can look up the questions yourself and know that the questions are there. Now, I do want to go to AskMeHelpDesk.com, and that's where I got also the mental health question too. I want to make sure I mention that. Now, this one is, how does the subconscious work? And that's a great question. And this is under other science. So I'm going to try to answer this the best that I can. There are a lot of things that I don't know. And by looking at these questions or experiences or stories, it opens my mind to think about it, to research it, to look into it, and get the answers. I mean, without it, I probably wouldn't know about this stuff. But again, I'm going to try to read this and answer it if it is a question, or give my opinion on it if it's a story or experience. But I'm not discounting anybody's stories or experience. If you want to call in, use the Skype name Talk in the Night, or by phone at 817-717-1280, or sign up for a free account on Spreaker.com. Once you do, type in the search, go under Listen, type in the search bar Talk in the Night. It'll take you to the Talk in the Night page on Spreaker. Then click on the live show under the Talk in the Night page on Spreaker, and scroll down a little bit. There is a chat bar. You can join the discussion with me and people in the chat and ask your stories, or share your stories and experience there, or ask a question there if you don't feel like calling in. Or if you just want to say, hi, I'm listening, I welcome that too as well. So let's get into this. How does the subconscious work? And it says, according to the dictionary definition of subconscious, it means the part of the mind that one isn't aware about but still influences their decisions. But then it says that beliefs are part of the subconscious mind. I don't understand how somebody could be unaware of their own beliefs. People who are against that, the non-traditional marriage, let's say it that way, abortion, immigration, taxes, etc., all seem to know what they believe if you ask them. So I'm confused why beliefs aren't part of the conscious, which is part of the mind people are aware about. Here's the article I read where they talk about it. Let's say you have a goal to improve your career, yet plagued by learning challenges, but you have the belief that you are not smart enough to accomplish what you want. These beliefs subconsciously override any desire to go for what you want. You may find that you are good at the start, but seeds of doubt kick in, and you decide this is too hard or it's not worth the effort. Subconsciously, you have already decided you're going to fail, so you consciously choose not to follow through. When these beliefs are given, these beliefs are out of conscious awareness. Most people never examine them. Consequently, every time you unknowingly repeat them, you strengthen them. This is how habits are solidified. So, in this context, how would somebody not know what they think think they are stupid if they think to themselves, I can't do this, I'm stupid? Then how would they not be aware that what they're thinking? Okay, great question, great example. So I can probably answer this the best that I can. Again, I'm no expert. I'm not going to claim to be an expert. But as far as the subconscious goes, what your beliefs are, what you know, what you've seen, is held into the subconscious mind to where it comes forward into the conscious mind at a later time when it's needed. But think of it this way. The subconscious is your memory bank. Think of a computer. It's storing all this knowledge, all the websites you visited, or passwords if you saved them on a computer. Think of that as your subconscious. Your conscious mind is telling you, well, let's put this into that so it can be in that memory bank. So it does play a part. It doesn't mean, and yes, the subconscious mind, like I said, the memory can come forward and make you believe you're not good enough. You're not, good enough for that job or that relationship or anything like that, and it can hinder you. But again, like I said, this is what I believe, that it is like a memory bank, and all those memories are still there. Let me give you another example. Like I've talked about the Santa Claus effect. I'm not going to go into the full thing, but I'm going to talk about part of it that I've explained before, where a lot of people are told it's not real, it's just their imagination. That ability gets pushed from the third eye, the conscious mind, back into that subconscious, where we tend to forget about it until it's needed again. But that ability is still always there. It's a way that you can unlock it, open that ability. Well, same thing when you tell yourself, oh, I'm not good enough. That gets pushed from comes from your subconscious thinking you're not good enough, or somebody told you you're not good enough. And it gets pushed to the conscious mind at that exact moment when it's needed. And we need to understand that what's stored in our minds because somebody told us doesn't make it true. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to seek the knowledge, seek the truth, and believe in ourselves. Because if we don't believe in ourselves, nobody else will. So again, the subconscious, you're not going to forget about it like what you're thinking, what this person is thinking, that they're going to, if it's in the subconscious mind, that it's forgot about. It's, again, like a memory bank, and it will come forward at the time that it's needed. This is, again, my belief, my thoughts on it, what I'm actually kind of getting messages from the spirits about. This is what they're telling. But anyways, and I don't open up myself to the spirit world because I don't do readings or anything like that during open lines, because this show is about you, the listeners. But again, like I said, the subconscious is like a memory bank. And you can take that, whether you want to believe it or not, that's up to you. I'm not trying to force anybody's belief system on anything. But I do ask that people research it for themselves, look into it for themselves. So I wanted to get that. Again, that was from Ask Me, I think it was AskMeHelpDesk.com. Yeah. AskMeHelpDesk.com under Other Science. Alright, so let's go into... This is 20questiontuesday.com, and I've answered some questions on here before. Let's see. So now that, oh wait, we're not going to get into about that. So, okay, so and of course on 20questionstuesday.com under the blog and everything like that. Number 11 says, so how much is complete crap on these ghost hunter shows? And their answer was 99% is complete crap. The 1% that isn't is the credits at the end. These people really did work on the show. Now, I wouldn't say that it's that low of non-crap, because there are incidents where some of this stuff does happen, but again, it's a lot to do with the ratings. It's all about the ratings, and they will make up some stuff like Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventure has. He's made up things just to pad his ego. Again, that's my opinion. I don't care for him, and I'm not telling you can't enjoy the Ghost Adventures. I'm not telling you shouldn't watch it or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But yes, most of it is crap, but it's not 99% complete crap. I don't think. Now, I would go at the higher end, but not that high. I would say about 80%. But then again, I don't watch it. I'm thankful that these shows brought out the paranormal so more people are open to it and wanting to learn about it. But what they are putting out there is in sometimes falsehoods or not getting the true thing out there. Now, I would recommend a local team on YouTube before I would recommend ghost hunting shows on TV. Because it's not about ratings on YouTube or TikTok or any else other video streaming service where these videos are at. Yes, there could be 100% bullcrap videos out there. I'm not saying that's not the case, but it's more believable there than it would be on TV, in my opinion. All right, so I want to go to another one off of that same website. And let's go, we talked about Bigfoot last night, so let's go into this question. This is number 16 on there. The Yeti used to interact with the blog years ago. Why do you think that the Yeti is not interacted with you lately? Wow. I don't know where they got this question, but their answer was the Yeti is no good at his job 2.0 environment. Once the internet went social, the Yeti disappeared. Makes me wonder if it was ever real anyways. And again, we talked about this last night, and I do believe not only extraterrestrials, not only spirits and ghosts, but even cryptid creatures like Bigfoot. I used to thought, well, they're really good at hiding, but as we lose more of our natural forests and everything, and people building into those forests and everything like that, it would be harder for them to hide. Yes, there's still quite a bit of area that they could, but it made me think a few years back that these creatures could be interdimensional beings. Like, let's take Nessie from the Loch Ness Monster, from the Loch Ness in the Loch in Scotland. Now, why hasn't people seen a lot of Nessie lately? Well, one thought is there is a cave that leads out to the ocean, underwater cave, and it goes out into the deeper ocean where we know less about the deep ocean than we do our own solar system and space. So yes, they could be living in the deep ocean and we don't know about it. They could go out there to breed or maybe they breed in the loch and then go out to sea there. I mean, there's so many thoughts on this, but again, these are just my thoughts on it, just my opinions. I don't know for certain, and I would love to, and eventually one of these days I will get Dr. Lauren Coleman from the Cryptozoology Museum on my show. I got to message him again and see if he's willing and able to come on the show and talk about Bigfoot and other cryptid creatures. And I'm sure he would probably agree with me that they are interdimensional beings. But again, that's just my thought. All right, so let's go to another site because I think a lot of this post on 20 Questions Tuesday /blog/2016 2016/1. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but yeah, I think that site has not really been that great for questions, so I might delete that site for using. So let's go into another site here, Psychicwire.com. And I do want to get into other topics. Like I said, we'll get into some health and wellness. We'll get it. Actually, I did the health and wellness with the mental health. So let's get into some dating and relationship and veteran issues here in a moment. But I do want to go to a question on this site, psychicwire.com/ask/topics and so forth. And it has to do with Karen Douglas. So if you want to seek out the site that I'm using, the exact URL, hopefully you can find it. If you do happen to know or if you happen to want the actual link, ask me, I will send it to you. So let's go to a question here. How to recognize the difference between the paranoid conspiracy belief versus authentic questioning and caring about the sometimes absurd misuse of power. And this is on conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But Professor Karen Douglas answered this as a social psychologist interested in understanding why people are attracted to conspiracy theories and what their consequences are. This is not an easy question for me to answer. However, when a person, and I want to click on read more, when a person believes in one conspiracy theory, they often tend to believe in others. Some argue that there is therefore some kind of conspiracy thinking mindset or a general tendency to believe in conspiracy theories that is associated with verifiable like general paranoia and mistrust. This may perhaps be the difference to a situation where a person is suspicious about one set of people, e.g. the government, abusing the power. He or she may not believe in other conspiracy theories. And yes, it is a conspiracy theory until there is actual proof out there that they are doing this stuff. Like, people used to say people who believed in UFOs and the Roswell crash were conspiracy theorists. Well, look at it now. It has come out to be true. I talked about the Great Reset earlier. Go type in the Great Reset into Google and you'll find a list of things there. But look at the World Economic Forum and type in World Economic Forum and Great Reset. And I think on there they have a video, a commercial that they did that says, you will own nothing and be happy about it. I mean, people would call me a conspiracy theorist because I said that. Well, have you actually took the time to actually look into it? Or are you just saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist for believing it by saying it? I mean, this is their words and not mine. I mean, these are words that came out of their own mouths. This is not a story. There's a video of them saying it. And I can share a whole host of other things. I'll tell you what. Go to, on YouTube, High Impact Flicks or Grease Monkey videos. Now, everything that he posts, I don't agree with. But what I do is look into everything that he talks about, and I research it, and I look for it myself, because otherwise I'd just be a follower to a cult leader. And that's not me. That's not what he wants. He wants people out there looking into it, researching it, checking out. But he's putting out the information, but it's up to us to look into it, to find the answers for ourselves. So, conspiracy theorists are slowly becoming a thing of the past, because although unless it's government officials or something like that that want to keep this stuff secret or don't want people the masses knowing about, even though they're putting it out on mainstream media and everything like that. They're telling you what they're doing, whether they're knowingly or unknowingly doing it. That's a whole nother question or story, but they are putting out that information. It's up to us to have a conscious mind and understand, research it, look into it, and not believe everything that is out there, but look at it and come to our own conclusion. And in that, we will find our answers to what we seek. So that's on that story. That's, again, Psychicwire.com. And if you want the full link, I can send it to you. So let's go to right here, back to AskMeHelpDesk.com. And I want to find another good topic to talk about. I don't want to do science. I said veteran issues, and what else did I say that we needed to talk about? Technology. Actually, let's go here. Our EnglishPost.org/science-and-technology-questions. All right, so let's go into some technology questions, because I don't have a veteran post pulled up, so or a question or anything like that. But I will talk about something. As a veteran myself, I will talk about it, but we'll do that after the commercial break. But I do want to talk about technology. And again, I might not know the answer, but I will try to answer it the best that I can. Okay, here's a good question. And it kind of goes with technology and health. How could smarter technology help people who are sick or disabled? Well, in health and wellness, it's come a long way since the 1800s. And we've gone from, if we had a bullet in our leg or something, a lot of times back then they would cut off the leg just to save the leg, or a snake bite. Now we got advances in technology to vax, to all kinds of things, medication that can help us with, let's use a rattlesnake bite, for example. We have anti-venom that can help somebody to where they don't have to lose their leg. Now, there are times that people will have to lose their leg because they didn't get it treated quick enough or something like that. But back then, if you got bit by a snake, you either had it sawed off with an actual saw, like one that you would pull out of your tool shed, basically, except for it would be a little more sterile. But imagine having your leg cut off because it got infected with a saw from like a woodshed, to the technology that we have. So it has come a long way in helping us in all aspects of life, not just health and medicine, but so much more and everything. Now, after the commercial break, I do want to get into find a dating and relationship question, and I do want to and I do want to talk about veteran issues, but we'll talk about that after the commercial break. But we'll be right back after the short commercial break with phone calls, chat, questions, and so much more. We'll be right back.
So many walls, so many close calls. Feels like a losing game. set my sights high, then I go blind. I don't wanna fade away. I stitch myself up when I'm feeling loved. Why do I come apart when I've had enough? I just gotta tell myself, breathe deep, breathe slow.
Do you need music for your radio show, podcast, or YouTube channel but need a music license to play it on your show? Well, go to artlist.io and check out the plans they have. They have 3 plans to choose from: personal, unlimited, and enterprise. All the music that you hear on the show is from Artlist, and there is a banner ad on the show's website. Check it out today. Do you love the strange, unusual, and weird unexplained mysteries? Do you like reading about the paranormal and other happenings? Well, I have the website for you, unexplainedmysteries.com. On there you will find so much, such as the latest news and articles, forums, news with video, and so much more. That's unexplained-mysteries.com, or you can click on the banner ad on the show's website to take you right there. Do you love history? Do you wonder what happened on this day in history? Well, check out history.com/this day in history and find out what happened on this day in recorded history. You can also click on the image on the Talk of the Night website under This Day in History and check out one of the many things that happened. The show's website lists a different event in history every day, so check it out today.
Summertime is near. Skies are getting clear. You see, everything just seems alright, but still I'm here.
To call into the show, Skype Talk in the Night or by phone at 817-717-1280. Now back to Talk in the Night with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back with Friday Night Open Lines where you can call in and share your stories, experiences, or questions about the paranormal or any other topic that the show covers. Now, I do want to go to my Instagram, and I don't have it pulled up on my computer, but I do have it pulled up on my phone because there was a comment under my open lines, and I do want to answer that comment live on the air, and I will answer it when sorry, I got the hiccups, but I will answer it after the show or tomorrow or something like that. And I guess, I forget, this was an hour ago. It comes from Varan689. It says, I want to appreciate such and such, I'm not going to name any other thing, for the restoration of my marriage with his spellcasting after 6 years of separation with my ex-husband. With the help of the spellcaster, my ex-husband returned home and now we are happily together for good. Now, as somebody that practices magic, and this is a relationship question I did want to get into. I did want to get into a veteran issue, but I did see that and I was like, okay, I got to answer this. I got to talk about this. So, as a spellcaster or somebody that has dabbled in magic and everything since I am Wiccan, I don't recommend using magic to assist in something like that, but to each their own. I'm not saying that you shouldn't or anything like that. I'm just saying that I wouldn't, but again, that's just me. I won't cast spells to help you find love. I won't help you cast spells to bring somebody back to you. That's just not who I am. And as Nicole said in the chat, yeah, it can backfire. Yes, it can. That's why, as a Wiccan, I do believe that any bad energy, negative energy, or something like that, that I put out there, whether if it's good, it's going to come back to me 3 times, but it probably is good. But if I put that negative energy, or if I try to force something that shouldn't be forced, it's going to come back to me as well as you 3 times as worse. And that's just my belief system as far as a Wiccan. But that should be everybody's thought, that if you put that negative energy out there, it's going to come back to you just as bad, if not worse. Nicole says you can buy love. That's good. Or you can't, she meant to say, you can't. Well, you can do both. But no, I would not use magic to help with the relationship, to bring somebody back. Now, again, that's something that my thoughts on it. But if it worked for you, I congratulate you. I congratulate your happiness together. And I do hope that everything stays good with you two and everything works good. So I do want to, again, I do acknowledge my comments. I do acknowledge my listeners. I do answer every question or story or experience, whatever, in the chat. I do interact with my listeners. I do interact with any phone calls that come in. So don't be afraid to call in. The number using Skype name Talking the Night, or by phone at 817-717-1280. All I do ask of phone calls and stuff like that is that on Friday nights, is that even during the week, if you got a question for a guest, is that they're under 2 minutes and that you're not rude to other listeners or the guest or myself. That's all I ask. So let's see, what does Nicole say? It says, we all have free will, so not sure how magic would help. Okay, actually, good point. Yes, we all do have free will. Some people don't think it, but everybody has free will to do whatever they please. And some people would say, no, you don't have free will, but to each their own. But anyways, so the question is, not sure how magic would help. Now, there are spells out there that you can bind a love to yourself if you know that, know how to work spell magic and everything. Again, it's something that I wouldn't do. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it, especially for somebody else. Now, I would be more open if you did it for yourself, but don't force something that is not there. Because, again, it's going to come back to you 3 times as bad, or even just as bad as what you put out there. Nicole says, can we still get hexed by someone? If so, how can we protect ourselves? I have not looked too much into hexes, curses, and voodoo and everything like that. One of these days I do want to go down to New Orleans, which is not as far as it used to be, because I'm a little closer to New Orleans and stuff like that. But I would love to talk to somebody that has dealt with something like that. Not somebody that's going to put a curse on me, or a hex on me, or use a voodoo doll against me, but somebody that knows about that topic. But as far as how we can protect ourselves, Yeah, I believe we can still be cursed. I still believe we can be hexed. We can still have a voodoo doll used against us. It's all a construct of the mind. Again, you have to put that intent into it. If you put that negative intent into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. And a lot of people, sometimes this stuff comes back to them, but they also, it's to the same token that they are also kind of protecting themselves of it coming back at them, or at least they think so. But how can we protect ourselves? That is a great question. And I would say that surround yourself with goodness. Surround yourself with white light. Learn how to ground yourself. Because if you're open to anything in the spirit world, if you are open to it but not protecting yourself, not grounding yourself, then you're more susceptible to it than somebody that is grounded themselves to that darker energy. So hopefully that answers your question, Nicole. Yeah, true. Black magic or dark arts. I watched too much Harry Potter. And of course, the movies like that sensationalize magic. It doesn't work that way either. So I do want to mention that. All right, so let's get into a veteran issue because we are running out. I do want to try. I'm trying to cover every single topic that the show covers. And the only thing that I haven't covered yet is that of veteran issues. And I don't have a question, but I will talk about stories of my personal experience with the VA and other things like that. Now, for over 6 years, I had been fighting the VA. I'm still fighting the VA because even though I'm getting paid 100% rating because of my depression and everything like that, and I'm not going to get into all the stuff that's going on with me or anything like that. That's something personal to me. But I will. I'll talk about this a little bit, the best that I can. But I do have back issues too, and I've been fighting over 6 years, I think even longer than that, probably about 10 years now, trying to say that my back is getting worse, and it keeps getting worse. I'm walking with a cane or a walker, depending on the day. Yes, I can still move pretty quickly. I can still pick up some stuff, but not as much as I used to. I get tired easily, and what I've gone through fighting them, I'm still waiting on a appeal hearing because I got denied for my problem with my lower back and everything like that. So I'm waiting for that appeal hearing to happen so I can show them I'm walking with a cane, I'm walking with a walker, I can't move as well. And this is what I have to say to anybody dealing with this with the VA or anything like this. And let's see, I think it's the last weekend of May, I think it is. Yeah, it is the last weekend of May, or last week of May, basically. May 30th is Memorial Day. And I do want to bring on some guests that week to talk about veteran issues. So we'll get more into veteran issues and stuff like that. But what I would say is don't give up the fight. Keep on them. Keep putting in, seeing your doctors. Keep telling your doctors this is what you're dealing with. And everything like that. And put all this documentation into your records. Now, some people might go to a lawyer, and I was going to go to a lawyer to help me with my claim and everything like that, but I decided to turn down that lawyer because, of course, the lawyer is going to take out a certain percentage of that. And I went to a veteran rep with the Veteran Commission and everything like that, and she was able to get me up from 80%. Well, I'm still at 80%, but she was able to get me that 100% unemployability. And now I'm living comfortably because of it. I'm still wanting that 100% because when I do get that 100%, I can get dental work done. I do need teeth. I won't lie about that. I do need teeth. Some mistakes as was a kid. Some stupid things that I did that I lost teeth. So I do want to mention that. So that's why I do want that 100%. But also because I know as I age, and I'm getting up on that 50 years old mark, the half century, that my body is going to break down more and more as I get older. And it's going to be even harder to do things that I used to do when I was young. It's even going to, as I age, it's going to get harder for me to do things that I can do now. And that's not much. So I want to enjoy life the best that I can right now. But at the same time, I do want to be recognized for my injuries that I got while serving this country. And like I talked about, the government officials want more power and everything like that. They don't care about the little people like me. They only care about their pocketbooks. But what I have to say to something like that is that we can't take it when we go. We cannot take, there is no U-Haul behind a hearse. Unless you do want to be buried with all your stuff, which I find weird. But no, about the only thing we take with us when we go, leave this earth, is our soul. That's it. You might be buried in clothes, your favorite suit or dress or whatever, but when you leave this earth, all you're taking with you is your soul. No U-Haul is coming behind you. So you're not going down the river Styx with a U-Haul trailer behind you. No. But I do make light of it, but it's the truth. I mean, we only leave here on this earth with our soul, and that's it. Now, where that soul goes, that's only something that we'll probably find out when we pass on ourselves. But, again, that's just what I'm mentioning here about veterans issues. Again, that last week of May, last couple of days of May and to June, I will have veterans on that week talking about veterans issues. And then, of course, during Veterans Day week, that week I will have veteran organizations, people that work, like a couple of years ago when I had guests on for Veterans Week. I had people talking about home loans. I had people talking about different veteran issues. And we will get more people like that coming up for those two holidays to kind of help out people that might be veterans of the military service. Whether it be here in the U.S., whether it be from other military around the world, veterans from other parts of the world. We might even try to get in somebody that works with veterans from England. I don't know. It depends. I have to wait and see what I get for veterans for that week. But again, I still got to put out the thing for it. But I will put it out probably next week when I've got some time off of what I have to get done next week. then I'll put it out there for veterans, for veteran organizations and everything like that for that week. So let's go into another dating and relationship. Wow, that looks like a long story, and I don't have enough time to go into it. So let's actually look at something maybe a little shorter. Need opinions. Let's go to this one. Okay. It says, we have a long-time LDR, which is long-time relationship. I have I questioned infidelity several times. He found a bottle of Bath and Body Lotion he found a bottle of Bath and Body Lotion in his van. He does have 2 older daughters who have been in the van since I was here last. But we are cleaning it out, and he seen it and said, "Is this yours?" It was in here. Funny thing is, it's a 2021 summer scent. The van has been cleaned out several times because he delivers papers in it. Am I crazy to believe that he doesn't know whose it is, even though he asked me if it was mine? No, I don't think you're crazy for asking that question. It's perfectly good to have a conversation and a thing. Now, if it hasn't been in there, could it been in a spot where it got knocked out, or did somebody, while he was delivering papers, maybe he left the door open, somebody tossed it in there? I'm not giving excuses for anybody. I'm not saying that this is the case or anything. I'm just trying to answer this the best that I can. But could it be that you might have put it in there and forgot about it? I mean, there's so many things. But to think you're crazy for asking questions, no. Trust is a big thing in relationships, whether it be love interest, whether it be friendship, so much more. Trust and communication. If you don't have those 2 things, then I don't see a relationship working out, whether, like I said, whether it be love or friendship or family or anything like that. You must be able to trust them. You must be able, with no doubts. I'll make that clear. With no doubts. You must be able to have communication, because without communication, how are you going to know? If you're the only one communicating, then you're not hearing both sides. You're not understanding the other person. But at the same time, with communication, don't cut out somebody that wants to talk because you want to talk all the time. That don't work either, because then that goes into trust issues where they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be around you because you want to talk about you or all the time or something like that, and you don't want to listen. So trust your instinct. Another thing, if you think something's wrong, ask the questions or cut it off completely. I mean, I'm not telling anybody what to do or anything. I'm just giving you my opinions, my thoughts, answering the question and story and everything like that the best that I can. But again, to each their own. I hope everybody has found insight into everything that I talked about tonight. Next week, like I said, I will not be live on the air, but they will be rebroadcast the shows. They will not be up on the air until the scheduled time of 9 o'clock at night. So don't think they're going to be up early. They'll be on that day at 9 o'clock. I've already scheduled them, or a couple of them. I got a couple more to schedule for next week. But I will not be on the air. I got some things to take care of. But the following week, the first week of May, I will be back with new guests, new topics, and hopefully you'll all tune in as well. And of course, we'll be back with Friday night open lines where you can call in, share your stories, experiences, and questions the first week of May. So be sure to like this thing on Spreaker, this show on Spreaker. Share it with all your friends. Let people know you're listening to it. Tell them what a great show this is. If you think it's a great show, I'm not telling you to tell anybody. I'm not telling you to tell anybody a lie or anything. If you don't think it's a great show, don't promote it. But I hope you do think it is a great show and you do want to share it and tell others that it's a great show. If you got any questions, this guy will answer it the best that he can for you. And he's also got great guests for the show too. Hopefully you'll say that. But also be sure to follow the show on all the social media sites: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, YouTube. The show also, if you do not listen on Spreaker, hopefully you'll catch the show, the recorded show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Facebook Podcasts, and of course YouTube. LinkedIn, there is a link at the top of the Talking Night website. It's a very small link, but that's more of a networking thing. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, or you got something that you want to ask me about, or maybe you know of a guest or something like that, send your information or their information to me at talkingthenight@outlook.com. I will look into it. I will get them you or them scheduled as quickly as possible as I can and everything. Let's see. Also, visit Talking the Night, visit the shop, purchase a product, a t-shirt, hoodie. Well, it's not hoodie weather, but t-shirt, accessories, phone cases, home decor, stuff like that. There's 9 different designs up there. Go to talkingthenight.com, click on the store tab, and it'll take you right to the merch store where you click on one of those images. It'll take you right where you can purchase the shirt or anything else up on the official Talking the Night merch store. Also, on the show's website, if you hover over the radio show tab, there's a drop-down menu with a sub page for guests of the show. You can find all the guests that have been on the show and the links for them. The archives, where you can hear all the shows there as well. You can advertise on the show. Also, if you want to advertise on the show or sponsor the show, send me an email at talkingthenight@outlook.com. I will not get to it on Facebook or anything like that, or Instagram or anything else. You must go to send the email to talkingthenight@outlook.com, and I will get to it there more readily, more quicker than, because I might miss it on Facebook or any other social media site. So send me an email at talkingthenight@outlook if you want to be a guest, sponsor the show, advertise on the show, and it's more personal that way. That's what I have to say about that. Got about 2 minutes, but again, make sure that you like this show. There's a little heart thing on Spreaker. Click that. Click the share button to share it with other people. And until I broadcast again, which will be the first week of March with new guests, new topics, and everything like that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Until then, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talking the Night. Late at night, darkness has fallen. Turn on the radio, and you hear him talking. Listening what he has to say. All about paranormal and all other things. When he sounds off, you can